You often hear that pay to play is the downfall for youth soccer in America. Now, I understand the arguments behind it, and there's a lot of valid points and things that I definitely agree with in terms of issues with youth soccer. But I have to ask this question: what's not pay to play? I have kids and they're in other activities, stuff like that, and there's not anything really that's not pay to play in some way, in some shape or form. So for me, I think it's the wrong focus. I think the issue is not that things are pay to play, although there's things that can be done there to improve, how that's done. But I think the bigger is us as parents, our mentality of pay for success. I'll say that again, pay for success. Thinking that the more money we spend, the more likely our child will have success. That for me is the issue with youth sports and a lot of things just in general. That's where we have to change our mindset a little bit in terms of how we approach youth sports. My daughter does gymnastics, she does dance, she loves it, but I can't really think that the more money I spend, the more likely she's going to be successful. It's not correlated. The idea is that she has to want to get better at those things. She has to have that desire to improve in her gymnastics and dance and desire to take it to wherever she wants. No amount of money that I spend is going to help her achieve that. I want to provide her opportunities, but I'm never paying for success. Obviously, to have her do gymnastics or do dance, there's a fee for her to participate, and I'm willing to do that because I think it's fantastic for her to do it. And she enjoys it, and there's so much growth outside of gymnastics or dance. So you look at soccer, it's the same thing. You're not paying for success. You're not paying that you think you put a player in here, a child in this situation, and they're just going to automatically be successful. It always falls back on what the player wants. Now, I'll ask parents this, and I even say this to my daughter with gymnastics and dance if she's asking to do more. I always say, how much does the player practice or do the activity on their own? Or do they only do it when they have a practice or they have an event where they're going to something you're paying for? For me, that's the difference maker in terms of player success. Now, Lord, every player I've known who've worked and developed and grown into probably in my opinion, the highest level that they could achieve are ones that do it on their own, that practice on their own, that practice in their free time, to work on their skill and their craft in an environment that you're not paying for. Sometimes I say that to parents, when they're looking at, training and clubs like that, and it's like, well, how much does the player play on their own? How often do they go in the backyard? And often they just don't. So for me, that's one of the biggest signs of development for a player is if they're willing to put in the extra time and do that on their own. That shows me that there's that inward drive, they're internally motivated to improve and grow, in their activity, whether it's soccer or, for my daughter's case, dance and gymnastics. For me, if I'm putting her in more and more classes and making her do more and more things during the week, her skills can improve a little bit, but I don't know if she's really going to be successful in that because she's just only doing it when she has to. So that's what I think we really have to look at is that, yes, there's issues with pay to play and there's valid points in the argument, but our approach as parents is we can't approach it as pay for success. That is not how it's going to work. It's not how it has ever worked. It's not pay for success. Because again, some of the most successful people and everything don't come from that type of environment. They often come from an environment where they have to do a lot on their own, and they sometimes don't have those resources. So their growth and development and their activity, their skill, their craft came from a lot of time that they did it. They chose to take the time to do it. So for me, that's a difference maker. So as we are looking at those activities and opportunities for our kids, we have to look at it in that light is what are they willing to do on their own? How committed are they to their skill development and improving in this and being successful with it down the road? So that's, again, for me, the better question. It's not the issues with pay to play. It's the issues with the mindset and approach to it as pay for success.